Hello, everybody. Today we are going to go over Sam Ingham's most recent public filing, the objection to the appointment of the probate conservator, and that is, as you all know, Andrew Wallet yet again after he left last year. Hey everybody. After he left last year abruptly and said, irreparable harm is going to come to Britney if I don't leave and her estate and all this. And that was just last year. And we just learned through this very court document yesterday, that they actually paid him $100,000 to leave just last year. And they're trying to bring him back now. And so I do know for a fact that is one of the things that Sam definitely talks about in this filing. I did have a chance to kind of read through it. I think what I'm going to do today is we're going to go through this document itself and probably two of the exhibits. One of the exhibits is like a whole entire document in and of itself that probably needs like its own video. So it's the transfer agreement between Andrew Wallet last year transferring his kind of rights and stuff back over. Transition agreement. Oh my gosh. Transition agreement. Because he's going to transition out of the conservatorship. That was last year. And so that's attached here as an exhibit. We're not going to go through that, but everything else I think we're going to go through just as usual. Okay, so this was filed on September 11th, but I don't think anybody really saw it or anything until yesterday, which was the 13th. So this is a, some type of motion. Objection. So this objection, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I get so distracted by y'all's comments. Hey. So this objection is going to be heard on this upcoming hearing. So this is something that is going to have to be decided on tomorrow, actually. So good timing. Finally got it out. Okay, so let's just get started here. Conservatee, that's Britney, objects to the petition, right? They say the whole entire title, petition for appointment of probate co-conservator of the estate, but we're just going to call it like petition and know that when I say petition, I'm talking about the last document that Jamie filed, which was, right, he filed that motion to seal too or whatever. But the petition is, him trying to appoint Andrew Wallet, like we said earlier, back to a position of co-conservator, the position he just left last year. So that's what they're talking about when they say, objects to the petition. We object to Andrew Wallet coming back, essentially. Filed by Jamie on August 19th, whatever. Okay. For the following grounds. So he's about to tell us the reasons. Introduction. So, this is just going to outline what we should expect to see, but not a lot of details and citations and stuff, right? So after denying for months that any structural change to the conservatorship was necessary, an hour before the last hearing, James suddenly reversed direction and conceded that a co-conservator of the estate is needed after all. Okay, so what does that tell us? They were kind of bickering and arguing whether or not the conservatorship structure needed to change. I assume that means the business structure as well as, I zoomed in too much, sorry. The business structure, but just as well as the organization of the conservatorship, who is going to be a conservator. And then he said, Sam says, then James suddenly reversed his, reverse what he was first saying at first and decided, we do need a co-conservator again. All right, then what? However, rather than work collaboratively with Britney to try to find the best candidate, James chose to work in direct opposition to her. So basically, Britney, instead of working with Britney, he kind of just said, I want to, reappoint Wallet, but she is clearly saying that she would rather have a qualified corporate fiduciary in this role. And that means a bank or a firm or some a corporation of some sort, right? It's corporate fiduciary. And unilaterally, there goes the cat. So he didn't do that though. He didn't work with Britney. And unilaterally filing that petition, Jamie basically selected someone who for a variety of reasons is unsuitable underline to fill that role here. Britney objects to the Wallet appointment petition and requests that it be denied. Okay, so that was the introduction. Now, this paragraph, he just says, I was appointed the counsel and, I was appointed her counsel in 2008 or whatever. He just has to put that in there, business as usual. Okay, so here we go. The Wallet appointment petition, it seeks to reappoint the reappointment of resigned conservator Andrew Wallet, okay, as conservator of the estate. So that's Britney's assets, not her person. Britney has filed a competing petition, and we do know about that one. That's the one where Britney petitioned Bessemer Trust to be the co-conservator and not Andrew Wallet, right? So let's see. Britney has filed a competing petition. So Sam is just letting the judge know, be on the lookout for that. All right. So Mr. Wallet's, quote, voluntary resignation. Okay. So we know, like, we love a good sassy Sam quotation mark. So he's pointing emphasis to the word voluntary. Okay. The Wallet appointment petition, so that petition alleges that Andrew Wallet served as co-conservator of the estate with James, quote, until the court accepted his voluntary resignation on March 4th. So that's what they had quoted in that document. In fact, Andrew Wallet's sudden departure after 11 years was, quote, voluntary only in the sense that he wasn't removed. So, like, basically he, like, wasn't fired. Like, he basically, like, you know, resigned in a way. Rather, it was negotiated by court-appointed counsel. So remember, who is court-appointed counsel? That is Sam Ingham. He's talking about himself, right? He's talking about himself in the third person. Rather, it was negotiated by me for Britney and supported by consideration to Mr. Wallet. Consideration means some kind of payment, right? Like some kind of, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. This is his back scratch, consideration. In the form of a $100,000, quote, golden parachute. So like a seeing off gift. So that's fancy, words for saying, okay, yeah, this guy resigned after 11 years and said it was voluntary. But what he didn't mention is that me and him actually came to an agreement where he was going to go ahead and leave voluntarily and he was going to get $100,000. And now I'm just reminding everyone of that right now. Please, let's see, golden parachute. Okay. Plus a full general release. I don't know what general release means exactly, but probably involve money. I'm not sure. A copy of the transition agreement, and that's from February, right, last year. A copy of the agreement that includes that $100,000, mentioning that for the first time, I'm sure, between Andrew Wallet, James, Britney, through her court-appointed counsel. So Sam Ingham, Andrew Wallet, and Jamie Spears got in a room and signed this transition agreement. I mean, they might have emailed it, but you know what I mean. And it is attached as Exhibit A. Now, that's the exhibit we're going to have like a new, TMZ, Britney's dad just fired back. In new docs obtained by TMZ, Britney's objections to the appointment are full of factual misstatements. I'm asking the court to hold a hearing on the facts. I knew it, y'all. Go to my Twitter and see. I said I said it earlier, 100% chance Geraldine calls this entire thing hearsay. 100% chance. I knew it. I knew she was going to have evidentiary objections to this. Okay. So basically, where we are right now live as we're watching this video or doing this video, apparently TMZ has said that Jamie fired back and said they're going to be holding a hearing on the facts of this statement that we're reading right now live. So that's what that was. So let's get back to this statement as we're doing it. So a copy of that agreement where where Sam Ingham, Jamie, and Andrew Wallet got in a room and came to that, agreement about this $100,000 and he was going to leave and it was going to be quote, quote, voluntary and everybody was going to go on their way. That's attached as Exhibit A. We're going to go over that as a separate Instagram Live at a later date, but it does reference this $100,000. Okay. Incorporated herein by reference. The agreement was approved by order of this court on March 5th, 2019, which we know from the news and stuff. And a copy of that is attached as Exhibit B. So Exhibit B is just going to be the court order of the court saying, yeah, I agree with this balloon payment and you leaving and all that. Okay. If Wallet appointment petition were granted, okay. So if it were granted, we can go over everyone calm down. We'll go over the TMZ article when we're done with this. Just calm down. It's not that serious. Nothing bad. Just relax. Okay. We're just going over the court document. Why are y'all so worked up? Okay. Everybody just needs to calm down and take a little bit of a breath. It's all right, okay? Okay, we'll go over it. All right. If the wallet appointment petition were granted, as Jamie wants and as Jamie's asking, the economic effect, so like the money effect, would be to throw away not only the money that we gave Wallet, right, that $100,000, but also the cost that all of our salaries per hour or whatever, cost fees per hour, the cost of negotiating that agreement in the first place, right? Because you got to think about what goes into that. You have lawyers talking on either side. Lawyers charge hundreds of dollars an hour most of the time. Then you have, clients going back and forth, Jamie demanding this, Andrew demanding this, they're going through the estate, Lou Taylor's involved, right? Like all these people are billing hours. So like that's a tremendous cost to negotiate an agreement like this. Even in like fees, you see how much they charge. Okay, so with Mr. Wallet and James obtaining court approval for it, right? That's the cost. There's costs in that. Arranging a new surety bond for James, which has to do with like insurance and stuff. I don't really understand it, but it costs money. And removing Mr. Wallet from control of the assets, which they actually didn't fully do because there's still one or two companies that have Andrew Wallet on there, and that was pretty sloppy of them. But maybe the government websites are wrong. I mean, it's happened before, I guess. So basically, this is a long paragraph of just saying, this is stupidly expensive. Look at all the money we just spent last freaking year on getting this dude out. And now he wants to come prancing back in. That's a massive waste of money. For what? So first he's talking about money, but I have a foreshadow with these little slashes right here that he's about to start talking about actual qualifications. So his first argument is it's just expensive on its face, even if the guy was worth something. But I have a feeling he's about to start talking about he's not. Let's see. Mr. Wallet's compensation. During calendar year 2013, Mr. Wallet, that's Andrew, was paid $36,100 some odd in conservator's fees. So like $36,000 he made in conservator's fees in 2013. In 2014, shortly after Britney began her highly successful residency in Las Vegas, Mr. Wallet demanded a substantial fee increase. So Britney starts working in Vegas, makes a lot of big money, and now Andrew Wallet decides he needs more money, according to this document. And that was granted by order of the court dated February 2014. Okay, so he got his raise. What was his raise, you're wondering? Well, this order increased Mr. Wallet's fees to $426,000 per year. He continued to receive this amount until his resignation. And that was 2014, so that's been going on for a few years. So Britney's Las Vegas residency ended in December 2017, and her last live tour performance occurred 2018. So Britney is no longer actively performing. Court-appointed counsel, so that's Sam, he's saying myself, I, negotiated that transition agreement for Britney with Andrew, right? In order. What's the reason? Why? Everybody's always asking, why is Andrew out? Do y'all believe this reason or not? It contradicts with what the paralegal said on Britney's gram, I think, or whatever. But he says, Britney's no longer performing. Me and Andrew came together in a room and wanted to talk about this agreement. And the whole point of that was to reduce the administration expenses of the conservatorship. So this is his purported reason, right? We're always talking about why did Andrew Wallet leave? Why did he leave all abruptly? What was the irreparable harm? I guess it was his $426,000 a year hemorrhaging the estate. I don't know, like in order to reduce the administration expenses of the conservatorship, they went ahead and did this agreement, according to Sam. To this date, so to right now, Britney has not started performing again. And she has stated she does not want to do that in the future, right? Like at this time, not in the future. I misspoke. Britney has not resumed. She has not come back to performing, and she does not desire to do so at this time. So to add any individual co-conservator to this case, much less Mr. Wallet, is a very poor value financially. And he's saying, that Britney cannot afford. And considering the monetary impact of Andrew's return to the estate, it should be noted that on December 20th, oh, here it comes, I'm so excited. December 20th, 2019, after Andrew Wallet had left, Jamie modified the compensation of TriStar Sports and Entertainment Group. Y'all remember who owns that? It's Lou Taylor. Business manager to provide for a minimum annual fee of, and you've already seen this, $500,000. This amount, yeah, I totally agree with you, Bluebird Sky 1912. This is her only way to give us info. And they are going to start opposing so much of this because this is the information they have been trying to seal with these motions to seal. Sam said, oh, okay, you want to play that game? Here, I'm going to put all this evidence in the oppositions and the objections. And what are you going to do about it? Okay, we'll get it sealed later, but now the public knows. Like, play with me. Like, I'm really honestly impressed with this strategy. Adding documents, I agree. Free Britney SD. Sam Ingham and Britney adding documents as exhibits is very smart. Literally having my popcorn watching this. Ha 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 ha. Everyone's laughing. Okay, let's get back here. So, in considering the monetary impact, right, of Andrew coming back, it should be noted that just in December, just the last month of last year, after Andrew left, Jamie modified the compensation agreement with TriStar Sports and Entertainment, the business manager. The business manager, to provide for a minimum annual salary. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said salary. A minimum annual fee of $500,000. That's $500,000. This amount represents more than double the amount that TriStar was previously receiving. That is some really good legal writing. If you're somehow still following this channel for legal writing, good for you. Thank you for being here still. And this is a really good strategy, right? Like, just this sentence is so good. This amount represents more than double the amount that TriStar was previously receiving. Like, he didn't have to say that. He could have just said, oh, $500,000 and it was $176,000. But like, how impactful is that? Like, yeah, they more than doubled her minimum pay, after Wallet walked out. This amount represents more than double. Okay. A copy of the documentation for this modification as provided by counsel. What is that? Oh my gosh. Something was like, oh my God. Okay. A cell phone or something was vibrating over there and I didn't know what it was. I'm sorry, y'all. I am panicky. Okay. I'm so excited. A copy of the documentation for this modification, blah, blah, blah. Basically, he said, see her email, a snapshot of that I just only received in July as Exhibit C. Okay, that's basically what he's saying. Fancy sentence for Lou Taylor's email leaked all over the globe. Okay, next, 6. Mr. Wallet's working relationship with Britney. Oh my gosh, what do we see already? Just like looking here. First thing, independent underline. I am so excited. Oh, this is good. No way out for her last year. She probably just went along with it. Okay. Now we're going to talk about Andrew Wallet's working relationship with Britney Spears. Okay. During the entire 11 years that he acted as co-conservator of her estate, Andrew had little or no direct contact with Britney. At this point, as she continues to move, again, we get this language again, move in the direction, where is it? Of greater autonomy. So again, we're getting hints that Britney is moving in the direction of greater autonomy. That means like personal responsibility, like self, care, like being able to take care of herself, right? Like being responsible for herself and having the personal autonomy. Okay, there's like a literal wrestling match going on with this cat. To be for herself. So this is him telling us we're moving in the direction of Britney being independent. It is hardly surprising that Britney now prefers to work with a corporate fiduciary who can offer both a physical office. Ooh, that's shade. Oh my God. Okay, so basically he's saying, all right, as Britney is moving toward more independence, it's not a big shock that instead of working with this dude she never met, she would rather work with a professional firm, a corporate fiduciary, an actual firm who can offer a couple things to her. What is one of those things? A physical office, you broke bitch working out your house. What are you doing? Why are you trying to come back here? You don't even have an office. You're retired. Anyway, and a team of, and look at this, independent financial professionals rather than a single individual handpicked by her father who is a complete stranger to her. Oh my gosh, this is like, okay, y'all know how I pick a favorite sentence. I feel like this is way too early to do so, but this might be it. It is not surprising Britney wants to work with a bank or a real trust or a real wealth management firm that's underlined independent, bold, financial professionals rather than some dude her dad picked and she never met. That's basically that. Conclusion. Oh, his second to last paragraph is always my favorite. I'm noticing that. Good job, Sam. I'm glad you kept that intern around from the opposition. This is excellent. James has taken, this is the conclusion, the position that Britney's decision not to perform will require him to undertake drastic changes to her budget. So basically he's saying, Jamie is saying, oh, the fact that Britney is being lazy and the dementia patient won't work, alleged, who I checked the box for dementia, she's being lazy, and so now we have to do all these drastic changes to the conservatorship and to the budget. Okay, so Jamie's want to pretend like he's worried about the budget. Apparently this frugality, which means like, you know, he wants to be good with money. Okay, all of a sudden you care about a budget. But this budget doesn't extend to the fees that James... Sorry about that. This budget, all this frugality, this money consciousness, it doesn't extend as far as, the fees that he pays from the conservatorship to the financial professionals he surrounds himself with. So he's saying like, okay, yeah, he wants to act like we're on a budget, but he's not on a budget whenever it comes to the financial professionals that he, quote, with whom he surrounds himself. Lou just broke into my house. No, this cat is being so rambunctious. She's pissed. Wait, hold on. Okay, what did you say? I'm in bed in Oslo. This is good night lecture for a brainy person. That's so funny. LMFAO. Can't believe that. Okay. Yeah, okay, so now we're almost done. Okay. Apart from the fact that while it has been extremely expensive in the past, based on what occurred over the last 11 years, he served as conservator. There's no reason to believe that he is going to be able to work with Britney to explain and implement any difficult budget choices that have to be made. Okay. So not only is he very expensive, and this is his two arguments, right? He's way too expensive. This is just financially a bad idea. And also he's unqualified. Like, what is he? He can't fill the role we need filled right now. What we need is someone to be able to sit down with Britney, explain to her what is going on. That's what we're being told. Do I believe that? I don't freaking, who knows? But this is what he's saying here. In the past 11 years, we haven't seen anything from this man. So there's just no reason to think anything's going to change. On top of the fact that it's really expensive. Once I pass the bar, what law am I doing? Just like corporate stuff. Like probably not litigation. This is too stressful. This is confirmation. Stress. But I do really like reading legal writing now. I used to hate it, but like, I don't know. I guess only on this, actually. Just Sam Ingham's legal writing lately, honestly. Yeah, okay. So last paragraph. Having been asked to resign. So, okay, having been asked. So look what he's doing. He's playing with these words here. He didn't say, he just resigned, right? He chose to use the words that highlight the fact that he was asked. Somebody asked him to resign. It wasn't like, oh, he just left last year. No, baby. Having been asked, requested to leave just last year and receiving a substantial amount of money to do that, to leave, Mr. Wallet is not a suitable or appropriate candidate to serve again as co-conservator of Britney's estate. Against her previously stated wish to work with a qualified corporate fiduciary in that role, right? So there's no reason he's appropriate, suitable, because Britney literally expressly said she wants a qualified, and he always puts qualified, I love it, a qualified corporate fiduciary in that role. The petition should be denied. Okay, dated September 11, 2020. Okay. Now he just says, he's verifying it and signing it and saying he read it and all of that. Exhibit A. This we're going to have to read on another live because it's like it would be like Alice in Wonderland. Like we'd be going into a whole different world here, and it's just probably like too much to like switch brain wise. And also if people are jumping in and out of the live, it's going to be very confusing and probably misleading. So I'm just going to do that all on its own. But this is where that is the agreement. That was Exhibit A, the agreement that, mentioned his $100,000 payment to leave. Sam is still canceled. Oh, Simi. Oh, okay. I am Sushmita said Sam is still semi-canceled for waiting till he was applied to do what's right. 100%. Sam is still mostly canceled. I don't even have to go so far as to say semi, to be honest. But I really am very I don't know, entertained by his writing lately. I can say that. Okay, so what is this? This is that order, right? Okay, so Exhibit A is the agreement they came to make while at leave. And Exhibit B is the court saying, yep, I put my stamp of approval on that. That's fine by me. Be on your merry way. And we can do these documents in a separate video, as I said a few minutes ago. But I do want to get to Exhibit C, because that's the moment we've all been waiting for. He really saves the best for last, doesn't he? Okay, Exhibit C. All right, what do we have here? Oh my God, I have chills. I'm so excited. All right, okay, Sam Ingham is the one printed it out from his little Epson. I can imagine it on his little desk, books piled out everywhere, running around. Anyway, Gerald Cohen is the one who sent it. This was from July, right? So this was, last 2 months ago? And she CC'd Geraldine, of course, to Sam. Okay. And the subject line is TriStar engagement agreement. Okay, great. Wonderful. Okay. Sam, I'm responding to your request. Okay. This is how you have to read an email. A lot of people never actually teach you this. You got to look at the date at the top, right? So July. So I see something that says, Sam, I'm responding to your email. Well, that doesn't seem right. You got to keep going and make sure you got the right, a lot of people never teach anybody that. And then it's like, how you read this thing, right? So what was that? Okay. So remember it said, I see. It's July 21st, 2020. Then down here we have December 20th. Well, now I'm confused. Like that seems like a long time to go between December 20th, 2019. Well, yep, looks like November 12th. Okay, sorry, my head still just looks like, where's the beginning email? He could have printed it out in chronological. Okay, here we are. All right, first email we have is an email from Lou Taylor, dated November 12th, 2019. All right, Jamie, here's where we are. 10:50 a.m., up and at 'em, Lou. You go, girl. Got your Starbucks, did your yoga. Now you're going to sit down at your desk, overlooking the protesters, saying enjoy prison Lou, and send Jamie Spears an email. All right. Jamie, we just ran time and billing for Britney and all the entities. Who knows how many, honestly, even Lou, clearly. I mean, who even knows? We have a $400K loss, I guess $400,000 loss on time and billing this year. Yeah. Sam provided all these. I know this is the big deal. This is why everyone's been like, oh my God, please go live about this because it's so funny. No, it's so funny. Lou Taylor literally did not sleep for the last 48 hours. That poor woman, not that poor woman. Of course, obviously, this is her email. She shouldn't have sent it. But oh my God, can you imagine how pissed she is that all this is out? Yeah, y'all, these are real emails. This is attached to a court document. This is Exhibit C. Who will be there tomorrow? I don't know yet. Okay, so she says, Jamie, we just ran time and billing for all Britney's companies, and we have a $400,000 loss on time and billing this year. That means that in all the fees they collected and, balancing out their commissions and everything, there was from, what they projected they were going to need and pay, they basically overshot that. They undershot that. They actually took a lot. They basically worked hours they haven't been paid for, $400,000 worth. And on time and billing this year, we have been paid $179,000. Now, just remember, this is just on time and billing. We don't know what they have been paid in total. This is just to their time and billing. We don't know fees. We don't know anything else. It's just time and billing. So her and whoever else sitting around doing whatever they do that is not supposed to be investing, right? They're not an investment firm. Okay. I want to stay at a 5% commission. Commission of what? I don't know. I assume it means the contracts that she negotiates, between Britney's likeness and brand, right? Because not Britney the person, because we already know Britney put her broken foot down and said, hell no, I'm not going to no raggedy ass zone. We're not doing that. No, we're not. Y'all turn that $1 million back over to them. That's stupid. Y'all stupid. Y'all should have asked me first. That's what Britney said, in my opinion. So she says, I want to stay at 5% of commission of whatever zone and bullshit else I do, but set a floor at $500,000 a year. That's $500,000, and she's basically saying you're going to have to promise me no matter what, I'm getting $500,000. And then anything commission over that, I'm still collecting. But minimum, I'm getting $500,000 because this is just stupid, right? And I'm like, girl, I wish you would tell me why. And she does, in fact. meaning we would not get paid less than the $500,000 this year and 2020. So that means next year. That's the year we're in right now. So we would get a retainer payment each month, and each quarter settle it up against the commission. Okay. So basically she's saying, I don't really know how to do division, but what is like 25,000? No, I don't know. Whatever the monthly payment is, more than $10,000 or whatever. She's going to want to get every month a payment, like upfront before she does any work. And then at the end of the month, or at the end of the quarter, which is like every 3 months, at the end of that financial quarter, let's say like Jamie overpaid her on accident, then she'll return the money back to him. That's what a retainer is. It's where you give somebody money, and then if, you sometimes do it at like the auto mechanics and stuff like that. It's like you give them like, some money up front, and then if they don't use it all, usually it's like services like a lawyer will have a retainer, right? So she's saying, I want a monthly retainer. And then at the end of every 3 months, if you have leftover, I'll give it back to you. But no matter what, you're not getting back. I'm keeping $500,000 no matter what. And that's what she's saying. All right. Unlike the other professionals, here's where Lou tries to be sassy and it takes too much. Like, she should learn how to put a comma, at least one. She's missing a few. Unlike the other professionals, and then she means management and legal, we are still having to do work, even though B, meaning Britney, is not. Including the court accounting. Yeah, baby. I'm glad that this got into an exhibit because honestly, it's kind of really smart. It's Sam, just in case he forgot, right? The judge forgot. It's Sam reminding the judge that this woman does the court accounting, right? This is a brilliant piece of evidence to drop in just in case the judge forgot without having to actually say it, right? Lou Taylor says herself in her own email, unlike the other professionals, management and legal, we are still having to do work, even though Britney is not. So she's mad Britney's not working, including the court accounting, right? So she's saying we're doing the court accounting. Then next year, we'll look at time and billing again. So she's saying, let's just try this for 1 year. Let's try this for 1 year, and then we'll see where we end up with the billing next year, and then whatever. And I have a feeling by this time next year, I don't think she's going to be having too much to talk. So let's see what Jamie says. He says, same day, 6:42 at night, probably had a few drinks by then. Sorry, my head, trying to get all this going on straight, we'll get back to you. I read it like that, kind of just to be an asshole, because I can tell what it says, but like, honestly, it's really confusing sentence. Sorry, my head, trying to get all this going on straight, we'll get back to you. So basically, I have been processing this 1.5 paragraph email for several hours all day, probably ate 3 meals in between, but I'm still trying to get it going on straight. So I'm gonna have to just let you know later. Oh, the accent. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm from Louisiana too. So yeah. Oh my God. They're all laughing. Oh man. Meaner has stepped in the chat. Jamie has no idea what Lou is talking about. Jamie is clueless, Meaner. He has no idea. He literally just had that, like a few words, just like kind of like fell out just so he could let her know like something was happening in his brain. But like, he really tried to metastasize this all day. She sent it at 10:50 a.m. He sent back at 6:42 p.m. It's 7 at night. This man said, well, it ain't even like he got a job. I don't know what he did all day that made him so tired. Sorry, my head, trying to get all this going on straight. We'll get back to you. All right, James. James can't even write. How can he manage anything? I agree. Who said that? Claire DF. I'm honestly surprised he typed that much. Okay, I agree. But like, honestly, he could have typed less and been coherent. Said no, said yes, said approve. This is pathetic. So pathetic, Rook. He's clearly Lou's puppet. It's pretty sad. Fuck Sam. Yeah, he is clearly, yes. Can't compose a single sentence. How iconic is this live? I hope we don't get cut off again. Dumb and Dumber. Oh my God. Jesus 21. He did talk to type. Sushmi just said, greetings. He's going to go down for them all. Yeah, he is. But he can't sign no tax return. Like, at the end of the day, like, Lou is just so inextricably connected to this that there's no way that he goes down and she doesn't, unless she literally strikes like a criminal plea deal and gets immunity. Like, she's so into it. Okay, so what does Jamie say? What does Lou say in response to, sorry, my head trying to get all this going on straight, we'll get back to you. Okay, we're still not 100% sure on that, but I have an idea. All right, same day. Oh, Luis is quick, okay? Quick. Luis is on her emails, y'all. 6:42, Jamie sends this one. At 6:57, she's been waiting to hear about that $500,000 all day. She's already probably made some purchases planned in her head. Moments later, yes, I know, Robin and I were supposed to go through it with you. No, it's bad timing. So when is this, November 12th? I don't know why it's bad timing. What you been doing? Ain't like you're managing anything. Britney hasn't worked in a year and a half. We just want to create a floor since we can't afford to lose $400K. Now, that is honestly such a mischaracterization. Because, is she losing $400K? Yeah, but there is no telling how many millions of dollars, literally a year, that this woman makes. Like, maybe none. I don't know. It's all alleged. But this is not like she's like sitting in the whole $400,000. Like, she could have definitely offset that amount in lots and lots of ways. We are looking to true up 2019. So basically, I don't exactly know accounting terms, but I'm pretty sure that means you still owe me the $400,000 for this year. So she's saying, what are we going to do, right, in this one sentence? So this is what it says. Yes, I know. Robin and I were supposed to go through it with you. No, it's bad timing. We just want to create a floor since we can't afford to lose $400,000. We are looking to true up 2019. So she's saying, yeah, we're looking to make sure that what happened this year doesn't happen next year. But in the meantime, you owe me $400,000. So that's what she's saying. And then she says again, just to clarify more, meaning the floor is we won't make less than the $500,000 a year. And if commission is at least that, we will true it up, which means we'll call it even. We'll say we're, square. We'll be squared off or squared up or whatever, So she's saying we are not going to make, and that's what I already explained to y'all earlier. We're not going to make less than $500,000 regardless of what the retainer you spend and don't spend. Like, no matter what, that's what we're getting. And if you overpay us, which, like, let's be honest, what are the chances of that? That Lou's going to return some money from this. And if you pay us over that $500,000 on accident for time and billing only, not talking about any other management fees or professional fees, like over there, like, commissions and stuff, then I'll return it to you. But no matter what, I'm making $500,000. Coram Deo, lunatic, Lou Taylor. Okay. I don't know that Coram Deo means lunatic. That was just a guess. Y'all can Google it. So I think somewhere he ends up saying approved. Yeah, okay. So here is the calculation based on the below. And then he says approved. Okay. So Jamie, it takes him a while, right? Let's look, like, this is important. No, really, like, if you are still here for legal documents, always look at the dates. It's the first thing I'll look at. The time and the date. It seems like very nitpicky, but you can really imagine what happened between that time if you think about it. The last email we saw is November 12th at, 7 o'clock at night, basically. I know it means in his presence. I just don't want to get sued for defamation, y'all. I know. I Googled it earlier. Oh my God. Okay. All right, y'all. No more jokes for you. Jesus. I know, y'all. Y'all know Jamie didn't read the calculation because, is the calculation on here? They must have, I don't see it. I don't know who this Robin Greenhill character is, but if y'all have info on her, send it to my DMs because I want to start looking her up. All right. So what had happened? Okay. November 12th, that's, late at night, she's like, oh, here's this half-ass explanation. And I don't know if they talked in the meantime or what, but y'all, took 5-6 weeks later before he sends back one word response, approved. How many negotiations, how many lawyers, what had to happen between 6 weeks of time that took Jamie to write one word? That's what you have to start thinking about. And then the next question you should ask is, what was going on during December 2019? Wasn't that around about the time? Like, what was going on, right? Like in the Britney movement, like what album was going, right? Like this is how you have to piece stuff together. I don't know why I'm saying that like meaner, like in the actual flesh isn't in this chat. Like, I know y'all know this, but okay. Then if you remember how we got to this Narnia in the first place, this was in an Exhibit C to that opposition we just read. And I'm so distracted by y'all's comments. This is just a few months. This is 2 months ago, not even. July 21st, we have Gerald sending this to Sam, probably, for the Spears conservatorship. For what reason, we don't know. Now we do know, to put as this exhibit. And this is what Gerald says. July 20th, just 2 months ago. Sam, I'm responding to your request for a copy of the conservator's agreement. So that means Andrew Wallet and Jamie Spears' agreement with TriStar. I apologize. Conservator's agreement with TriStar. Yeah. I apologize for not getting this to you sooner. Oh, wait. When did Sam send request for this email? Do we have that email here? I guess not. Okay. I apologize for not getting this to you sooner. The TriStar management team. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. I'm so excited because I know what's coming up. The TriStar engagement letter. That's like the letter that you sign with a professional, like usually, I guess like this type of a management or like a lawyer. Like you sign an engagement letter that kind of lays out the parameters of your agreement. Like what's the scope of our relationship? What am I supposed to have a duty to you to do? How much, maybe sometimes you'll put how much you owe the person. And then you put like, if it's a lawyer, for example, you'll say, I represent you on these issues only. Like I represent you on the traffic, stop, the DUI only. Don't come to me with your marriage problem. The engagement letter is going to say, I represent you for a DUI. And I cannot represent you for anything else unless we go into a separate engagement letter and a separate suitor. It's kind of like that. So they signed one with TriStar, and it might have been, we hold these accounts or we hold these businesses or something like that. And that letter was originally entered by Andrew and Jamie as co-conservators. So entered means like, I guess, like put into the court docket. We do not have, look at this. We do not have access at this time to the early conservatorship files. Well, isn't that convenient, Gerald? Which were not saved electronically. Well. Isn't that just a terrible stroke of luck? I believe that the original contract with TriStar was part of the first tour agreement. And I think I saw Lawyers for Britney saying that's the circus tour. I'm not as like up to date on all the, tour timings and things. But so Gerald is saying, I think the original contract with TriStar, right? The conservators agreement. I think he's trying to probably get at the fees. I don't know what Sam's trying to request this for, but he's using this email for sure. Maybe he's giving us a foreshadow that we might be getting this agreement. I don't know at this point. Sam might have a whole team of writers. He went on Fiverr. These out of work lawyers sitting around. We do not have access at this time to the early conservatorship files, which were not saved electronically. I mean, y'all, that wasn't like 1996. It was 12 years ago. Y'all didn't put your stuff and you couldn't scan it in a PDF 12 years ago? My Lord. I believe that the original contract was part of the first tour agreement. You probably have a copy of it in your files. If you do, please forward it to us. Please do our job that Britney Spears is paying us hundreds of dollars an hour to do. In the meantime, we will have someone at our office, which is partially open now, look through our archive files, provided that Garcetti doesn't reinstate the stay-at-home order. In any event, the agreement was recently modified pursuant to the correspondence below. Okay, so, wow. So Gerald sent this email chain over to Sam, the one between Lou and Jamie. The conservatorship lawyer, Jamie's lawyer, sent that over to Sam Ingham. And then Sam Ingham stapled it to the back of his opposition to Andrew Wallet. Oh my God. Her dad is totally uneducated and underqualified. I agree. DeSandrea. Sometimes she sounds like Britney. If he can't scan a PDF, how can they manage a conservatorship? Well, that's a wonderful question. I think it bears asking. I do think it bears asking. So yeah, there we are. We have finished it. And then she has her disclaimers at the end here, confidential and privileged. This is really funny. This message contains information which this is the part I was reading of the email. I know this is like really weird, but I was just reading this because this is a different disclaimer than you see on the like legal people's. And I was like, oh, what does theirs say? I don't know. I'm just weird like that. And she's like, this is the part of the email that I read that made me know that Lou Taylor is so pissed that this is out there. This message contains information which may be confidential and privileged. Unless you are the addressee or authorized to receive for the addressee, you may not use, copy, or disclose to anyone the message or any information contained in this message. If you have received this in error, please advise the sender by reply to this email address and delete the message. And now it's like literally the whole world has seen it. Oh, man. Britney. Yeah, I thought Britney was like at Starbucks the other day. She was out a week ago. She's been getting a Starbucks. Laugh react. So what do y'all think about this document? Like, wasn't really reading the comments. Oh, right, that TMZ article. What was up with that? Let's talk about that. Should I, like, Google it? Let's see. Move. Okay. TMZ. Britney. What, like, Jamie? Like, what's the title of the article? No, I know it is. I know that it's a standard email disclaimer in the corporate world. I have a few email addresses. It's more just funny because it made me like really remember like how secretive and like private Lou Taylor is, like, and how she just really, it just burns her up. Like, it wasn't like that. I think she like sat there and artfully drafted it. I more think like it just reminded me how like crazy it is that this very confidential, like, no one would have ever thought it would have ended up in the public like this. And here it is, Jamie. And what did he say? Oppose. I'm just going to try to find that TMZ article. 2 days ago. See, past day. Lou is... I'm trying to find it. Let's see. Oh, factual mistakes is what they said. Factual misrepresentation, mistakes. What did he say? Have I heard about the dude? He was running BritneySpears.com. He's willing to talk. No. Oh, TMZ website, just like TMZ.com. Ugh. I feel like dirty doing that. Okay. And let's like type in like Britney, I guess. I don't see anything from today. It's just the 9/14 one. She said, wait, is the name of the article. I've got no desire to perform now is the name of the article. Okay. I've got no desire to perform now. Let's see, this is like one of those secondary, like, view on TMZ.com, yeah. Oh, yay, okay. Okay, should we just like read this? Okay. I got no desire to perform now. Fights dad in new conservatorship. Hire. In new conservatorship, hire. Yeah, wow, that would be stressful if we had a new conservatorship. Whew. Okay, Britney's dad just fired back in new This is so funny that I'm reading like that and then like his like firing back, like his coming back. In new documents obtained by TMZ, Jamie claims Britney's objections to the appointment of Andrew Wallet. So basically that whole document we just read, Jamie is claiming it's full of factual misstatements. And he's asking the court to hold a hearing to weigh the facts. Britney Spears is furious with her father for trying to rehire a man she claims is, quote, uniquely unsuited to manage her estate and who made a fortune off of her for years. Andrew Wallet served as co-conservator of Britney's estate from 2008 to 2019. And according to Britney, he was paid millions of dollars for his service, including a $100,000 payout in March 2019 when he quit his job. This is how I feel when I'm reading news articles. Like, it's like, oh yeah, I remember reading about that. And like, now y'all will know, like, no, they got that wrong, or yeah, they got that right. So it's like, oh yeah, that checks out. I remember seeing that on that transition agreement, right? And the golden parachute is what Sam called it. I know I hate that they call her the toxic singer. It's so tacky. In docs filed Monday, Britney says she's done performing, at least for now, and she needs to keep her expenses in check and make difficult budgetary choices going forward. Britney says she believes her dad, Jamie, is ignoring her financial situation by attempting to bring Wallet back on board. Britney says Wallet pays nearly $500,000 a year for the last 5 years was paid. I don't know why I said has paid. Britney said Wallet was paid nearly $500,000 a year for 5 years he worked for her, and it feels like it's just way too expensive. And then TMZ says, as we already reported, Britney and Jamie have been in a nasty battle over conservatorship. She no longer wants him to be in the sole conservator of her estate, and she has suggested a financial institution, not Wallet, should join him as co-conservator. And that is right. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think if Bessemer gets appointed, that Jamie is just out. That is not going to be the case. Technically, I think they're going to be co-conservators. I don't think Jamie is out unless he gets removed, like for cause, which is going to require a hearing, or he like dies. Like, and I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, there's really no way for him to be out without like a hearing and stuff like that. Jamie just poo-pooed Ingham using the conspiracy article in his last doc, yet still speaks to the press. Oh, he didn't speak to the press. I think this is documents that are going to be filed in court or that were already filed in court. I think they'll probably be up tomorrow. Wouldn't that be sad? Sam is abusing Britney. Oh, let's see. Now that shit hit the fan, they give 0 Fs to acknowledge the movement, and random posting is not equal to real support. Luis is going to make Jamie stand his ground till the end. Yo, yes, she is. I don't see anything on his Instagram. Yeah, I don't think he has a public account. So anyway, TMZ broke the story in a hearing last month. The status of Britney's conservatorship remained unchanged. Yeah, okay, we already know nothing's changed in the conservatorship. Our sources said, who are their sources, do y'all think? Do I think that we'll get more documents tomorrow? And if so, can I do another live? I don't think we'll get documents tomorrow because tomorrow's the court date. So, I mean, maybe we'll get documents from, like, if the court puts them on the docket, but probably not. Do they usually come out on the same day? I don't think so. I think it's going to take a day or more. But, yeah, I mean, these hearings, so this hearing tomorrow, let's finish this and then we can talk about the thing tomorrow. It's difficult for her to make import. Okay, so our sources said one of the main issues is Britney's mental illness has allegedly made it difficult for her to make important life decisions, and she's been in rough shape for the last year. Okay, so now we all know that their source is Brian Spears, so that makes it easy. Is there any way to look at Brit's medical records? No, in the United States we have pretty strict statutory laws on people's medical records, and there really is no way to sorry, I'm reading comments. There's really no way to get people's medical records, and I do know why. You know, I can definitely see how us having access to them would be, you know, helpful to make a case or whatever, but I kind of feel like that's one of those things that people are just kind of should just really have their privacy on their medical records. So, no, there is no way that we could get them. And even if somebody would try to, you know, give them to me or leak them to me or something, I would not ever do anything with them because I just don't think that's something we need to know. Yeah, I agree. I mean, her medical records are not irrelevant, legally speaking. Like, legally speaking, her medical records are extraordinarily relevant, but they're not absolutely not relevant for the general public to see. Like, we don't need to see that. Like, that's a very need to see thing. And I don't really, frankly, think any single person in her entire conservatorship needs to see, because we know how they are. So absolutely not. What does Jamie have to gain by giving all away Brit's money? Why agree to pay Wallet and lose so much? I mean, I can only speculate, but I have a feeling that Jamie Spears quite literally has no idea what to do with hundreds of millions of dollars. No idea. He wouldn't know where to start. I really think that. And that's just my opinion. I just really think that. And it's kind of like, there's this saying, like, the evil you know is better than the evil that you don't know. It's like, at least with Lou and Andrew Wallet, he like knows what the deal is. He knows his place. He knows what they do. It's like, what is he going to do? How would he even begin to hire? I don't think he has a lot of choice in the matter, frankly. Okay, someone said, if and when Jamie is removed as co-conservator of her estate, will Britney need to wait to file a petition to end the personal conservatorship? Like, will it look bad if she does it too fast? Oh, I see. No, I think it'll look good if she does it fast, because it'll show that it was really Jamie holding her back this whole time. I don't think Britney wouldn't want her health records public. That's her privacy. That's different. Yeah, I mean, and that's fine if she makes that choice. I just don't think it's my choice to make. So I just would take a stand against. I would not share any information about Britney's medical records if I had privy to them personally. I would choose not to. How are medical records so sealed and court docs and records are wide open for public display? Isn't it the same level of privacy? Well, under the United States, like common law, generally people do, and courts and the legal system, and this runs throughout like actual statutory law, this runs throughout case law. Medical records are treated under the law as extremely, extremely private, unlike, what you said in court. There's like lots of discrimination based on disability, as we can see, in the media, and as we can see in Britney's case. There's a lot of, people who make stereotypes based on disabilities. There's people who won't insure you, or people who won't hire you. So, what you said in court one time, isn't considered under the law to be as private as your health information. That's considered to be something that is very, very personal and private under the laws in the U.S. I worked in medical records over 15 years. TMZ couldn't leak them even if they wanted to. Yeah, and that's good, Christina. I'm glad, because they shouldn't. I'm going to put them on my story, so y'all go look there. Oh, wait. Can they use medical like an exhibit, like, the exhibit file you read today? No, usually no. There's usually not going to be public access. That's usually going to be redacted and covered up. No, yeah. They can use it in exhibiting in closed court, but that wouldn't be able to be on public, right? Like, if they're inside a closed courtroom, the judge can see it, the people in there that are considered necessary parties can see it, but it's never going to make it into the public eye. Medical records aren't a part of a level of checks and balances. I don't understand that comment. Hopefully tomorrow is fruitful, I agree. People give Jamie too much credit. Lou is the mastermind. All of the other people have ties to her. Yeah, I would definitely. Oh, I only have 1 minute and 55 seconds remaining. Jamie doesn't know anything. He's dumb as hell. Official Nigel Walker, you're so funny. And you ban Britney Army 101. Stop spamming about Sam. HIPAA is about sharing info without consent. Even if Britney gives consent, ethical people won't release them. Yeah, true. Even if they unseal the hearings, yes. Even if they unseal the hearings, any medical records, they're just not going to make it into the public. We're not even talking about, okay, can you look into Jody? Yeah, Alexander Windsor, 89. I kind of started to. She's kind of hard to find stuff about. Okay, Derek R, 411. Go view my story if you want to see the producer of the circus tour. Oh, yeah. Okay. Go to Derek, DERRICK, R411. Go to his story if you want to see the producer of Circus Tour speaking out on Britney and her being mistreated. What's the likelihood of Jamie going into a conservatorship after this? LOL. Let's see. Lou is definitely throwing Jamie under the bus if she needs to, and I don't know if this is good or bad. Yeah, I mean, just let the trash shake itself out, to be honest. Like, however they end up ending it. Sounds more like a dare for him to publicly dispute. He said it. Okay, y'all, so I have 23 seconds left. Derek, D-E-R-R. Oh, God. Okay, hold on. 16 seconds. D-E-R-R-I-C-K-R 411. Okay, that's it. D-E-R-R-I-C-K-R 411. Okay, I'm going. Bye.